How the court divides property or addresses a property separation in a divorce is they try to separate the property equitably. That does not mean 50-50. It just means they try to separate it as fairly as possible and distribute the assets and debts between the two parties.
There are really three types of property for purposes of dividing it in Nebraska. There's premarital property. That's property you brought into the marriage. You owned it prior to becoming married. There's non-marital, which is property you might have acquired during the marriage, but is non-marital in nature. This would be inheritances from family members, gifts specifically to you, those sorts of things, and marital property. And that's the type of stuff we typically think of as being the divisible property in a divorce.
It's extremely important to start this process early. It doesn't necessarily mean that every single piece of property, whether it's an asset or a debt, is going to be actually used in the final divorce, whether it's disseminated to the parties or determined as premarital, but we understand what we have and how that affects the case. It also helps settlement throughout the process. We understand what's more important. Is there an asset that is perhaps more valuable than the retirement? Is it the home? Is there a possibility that you brought some property into the marriage that immediately we need to set the tone, it's premarital? And so to get an idea of 10,000 feet of where we're sitting with all of your property is so important from the very beginning.
In terms of dividing your personal property, there's something that people need to understand. Okay, judges, courts, attorneys actually do not like dealing with personal property because it doesn't seem that important as it relates to things like custody or alimony, some of the bigger issues in these. But it is important. The thing is, you don't want to leave it to the end. So what I have my clients do, what our firm has our clients do, is to go through their personal property and just make a record of it. The easiest way to do that is to take your phone and make a video recording of it. So it preserves your property if there's any disputes later about what exists or didn't exist. And then it helps you mentally prepare a list that you're going to give your attorney to help work through the division of that personal property.